taught that work equals money. That if you work hard, you'll be successful. But is that true? Why do some of the hardest working people remain poor? And why do some make millions without lifting a finger? Topic 1. The myth of work equals money. When we were children, most of us were taught a simple equation. If you work hard, you'll make money. If you make money, you'll be happy. It sounds logical, right? You work, you get paid, and with that money, you buy happiness, or at least comfort. But somewhere along the way, we grew up and realized it's not that simple. There are people who work harder than anyone else, but barely make enough to survive. Think of the farmers who rise before dawn, the factory workers who stand on their feet for hours, the caregivers who dedicate their lives to others. They put in the hours, they do the work, but the money doesn't always follow. And then there are those who make absurd amounts of money without doing what we traditionally think of as work. Investors making fortunes by clicking a few buttons, CEOs getting bonuses for cutting jobs, influencers being paid just to exist in front of a camera. So let's start by asking, is work really about making money? Or is that just a myth we've been sold? Let's break it down. This myth that work equals money comes from the industrial age. Back then, work was straightforward. You showed up at a factory, put in your time, and you got paid for the hours you worked. It was a fair exchange, labor for wages. But we're not in the industrial age anymore. We live in a world where value isn't measured by hours spent or effort exerted. It's measured by perception, by influence, by things that often have nothing to do with real work. Take artists, for example. Some of the most celebrated artists in history, Van Gogh, Kafka, died penniless. Their work didn't make them rich. Their value wasn't recognized until long after they were gone. Now, their paintings and stories are worth millions. So, did they fail because their work didn't make them money during their lifetimes? Or did their work have a different kind of value that money couldn't measure? And here's the dangerous part of this myth. It makes us equate our worth with our paycheck. It makes us think that if we're not making money, we're not doing valuable work. But let me tell you, some of the most important work in the world is unpaid. Think about parents raising children, volunteers helping their communities, people creating art, writing stories, building something new. The world doesn't run on money. It runs on effort, care, creativity, and love. And none of those things have a fixed price tag. But society teaches us to feel guilty if we do something that doesn't bring immediate financial gain. You want to spend hours painting, writing, learning a new skill? People will ask, how will you make money from that? And if you can't answer, you feel like you've wasted your time. But who decided that the only worthwhile work is the kind that makes money? This myth also traps people in jobs they hate. Why? Because the paycheck justifies the misery. At least I'm making money. But is that enough? Should work only be about survival, or should it be about meaning? Shouldn't work make you feel alive, inspired, and fulfilled? We need to separate these two concepts, work and money. They're not the same thing. Work is about creating something of value. Money is just one way to measure value. But it's not the only way, and it's not always the best way. Let me put it this way. Would you still do your work if money weren't an issue? If the answer is yes, then you found meaningful work. If the answer is no, then maybe you're chasing money, not purpose. The myth that work equals money is dangerous because it makes people feel worthless if they're not making enough. It's why artists give up on their craft. It's why people stay in dead-end jobs. It's why we've lost sight of what work really means. So let's start by breaking that myth. Work is not the same as making money. Work is about creating value. And sometimes the most valuable things we create can't be measured in dollars or rials or euros. Topic 2. The true purpose of work. So if work isn't just about making money, what is it really about? Let's explore that. Imagine a world where money didn't exist. Would people still work? Would they still create, build, innovate, and help each other? I believe the answer is yes, because work is more than just a way to earn a paycheck. Work is an essential part of being human. It's how we make sense of the world. how we express ourselves, and how we connect with others. Let's look at this from a philosophical perspective. 1. Work as self-expression. Think of an artist painting a canvas or a musician composing a song. Their work isn't just about making a product to sell. It's about expressing something deeply personal. Work can be an act of self-discovery. Through it, we learn who we are, what we're capable of, and what we want to share with the world. Even the most ordinary jobs can have this element. A teacher isn't just passing on knowledge, they're shaping future generations. A baker isn't just making bread, they're nourishing their community. The value of this work isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in the impact it has on people's lives. 2. Work as contribution to society. At its best, work is about creating value for others. It's how we participate in society. In ancient communities, people worked together to survive. Some hunted, some gathered, some cooked, some cared for children. Everyone contributed in a way that benefited the group. That's what work really is, a way to contribute something meaningful to the world around us. When you work, you're saying, I have something to offer. It might be a skill, an idea, or just your time and effort, and that contribution makes the world a little better. 3. Work as purpose. Psychologists talk about how important it is to have a sense of purpose. Without purpose, life feels empty. Work can give us that purpose. It's a way to set goals, solve problems, and feel accomplished. It gives structure to our days and meaning to our lives. But purpose doesn't come from money. It comes from knowing that what you're doing matters to you and to others. It's the difference between someone who works at a job they love and someone who clocks in and out just for the paycheck. The first person feels alive, the second feels trapped. 4. Work as a path to growth. Work isn't just about doing, it's about becoming. Every time you work, you're learning, improving, and evolving. You're building skills, gaining knowledge, and shaping your character. That's why people often feel lost when they stop working. They lose the sense of progress and growth that work provides. Even mistakes and failures in work are valuable. They teach us resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. These lessons aren't tied to money. They're tied to experience. Now here's an important question. If work is so meaningful, why do so many people hate it? The problem is that too many of us are working for the wrong reasons. We're working for money, status, and approval from others. We've lost sight of the true purpose of work, and that's why we feel empty, exhausted, and uninspired. To reclaim the meaning of work, we need to ask ourselves, what do I really want to create? What do I want to contribute to the world? How do I want to grow? When you find answers to those questions, you find the true purpose of work, and that's something money can never buy. Topic 3, the difference between value and wealth. Let's talk about the difference between value and wealth, because this confusion lies at the heart of why people equate work with making money. They're not the same thing. In fact, value and wealth are two very different currencies. Wealth is about money, assets, and material possessions. It's something you can measure in dollars, rials, euros, or stocks. But value? Value is intangible. It's about the impact you have on the world, the people you help, the ideas you contribute, and the legacy you leave behind. Let me ask you something. Would you rather be wealthy or valuable? It's not an easy question to answer because society tells us that wealth is a sign of success. But here's the truth. Wealth is temporary. Value is eternal. 1. Value can't always be measured in money. Think about some of the most valuable things in life. Love, friendship, kindness, knowledge, creativity. These things don't have a price tag. You can't buy them and you can't sell them, yet they hold more value than any amount of money. Now think about someone who dedicates their life to work that doesn't pay well. A scientist working on a cure for a rare disease, a social worker helping vulnerable people, a teacher inspiring students. Their wealth might be small, but their value is immeasurable. The problem is, we live in a society that rewards wealth more than value. We celebrate billionaires and CEOs, even if their wealth comes from exploitation or manipulation. Meanwhile, people doing meaningful work, nurses, artists, environmental activists, are often undervalued because their contributions don't immediately translate into money. 2. Wealth without value is empty. Let's talk about people who make a lot of money without creating real value. Think of stock traders, crypto speculators, or CEOs who cut jobs to boost profits. Sure, they make a lot of money, but what value are they really adding to the world? Here's a harsh truth. You can be wealthy without being valuable, but you can also be valuable without being wealthy. For example, take someone like Marie Curie, who devoted her life to scientific discoveries. Her work saved countless lives, yet she didn't die a billionaire. On the other hand, there are people today who've amassed fortunes by exploiting loopholes, manipulating markets, or building businesses that harm society. So ask yourself, do you want to be someone who makes money or someone who creates value? 3. Value endures. Wealth fades. There's a reason why some people are remembered for centuries while others are forgotten the moment they're gone. It's because value lasts. Wealth, on the other hand, fades away. Think of historical figures like Socrates, Vincent van Gogh, or Nikola Tesla. They weren't wealthy, but their work changed the world. Their value was recognized long after they were gone. Now, compare that to the wealthiest people of their time. Do you remember who the richest person in ancient Greece was? Or who the wealthiest businessman of the 1800s was? Probably not, but you remember Socrates and Tesla. Why? Because value endures. 4. Modern confusion. The influence economy. Let's bring this to the modern world. We live in a time when influencers are making millions by posting videos and pictures online. But here's the question. Are they creating real value, or are they just chasing wealth? There's a difference between building a community and chasing clicks for profit. Some influencers provide value. They teach, they inspire, they make people's lives better. But others? They're just playing a numbers game, trying to get more likes and views to boost their income. The point is, we need to stop confusing wealth with value. 5. The danger of chasing wealth instead of value. Here's the danger of focusing only on wealth. You start making choices based on money, not meaning. You stay in jobs you hate because they pay well. You give up on your passions because they don't bring in immediate income. And what happens? You feel empty. You might have a big paycheck, but you feel like something is missing. That's because wealth doesn't fill the void that value does. The most fulfilling work is the kind that creates value. It's the work that makes you feel proud, inspired, and connected to something bigger than yourself. Key takeaway: wealth is temporary. Value is eternal. At the end of your life, people won't remember how much money you made. They'll remember the value you brought to their lives. The kindness you showed, the ideas you shared, the impact you had. Topic 4, the trap of chasing money through work. Let's talk about a trap that many of us fall into. The trap of chasing money through work. It's the idea that if you just earn enough, you'll finally be free. Free to do what you love, free to spend time with family, free to enjoy life. But here's the harsh truth. Chasing money rarely leads to freedom. Instead, it often traps you in a cycle of dissatisfaction. You make more money, but somehow it's never enough. You're constantly chasing a moving target. Let's break down why this happens. 1. Money as a goal versus money as a tool. There's a fundamental difference between seeing money as a goal and seeing money as a tool. Money as a goal. You focus on earning more for the sake of having more. You measure success by your paycheck. Money as a tool. You see money as a resource that allows you to do meaningful work and live a fulfilling life. Here's the problem. Society teaches us to treat money as the goal. We're bombarded with messages like, get rich or die trying, and hustle until you no longer have to introduce yourself. But those messages miss the point. Money is not the purpose of work. It's just a tool that can help you achieve your purpose. The danger comes when we forget that and start working solely for the sake of making more money. Number 2, the hedonic treadmill. Why more is never enough. There's a psychological concept called the hedonic treadmill. It's the idea that no matter how much money you make, your happiness level tends to return to a baseline. Think about it. You get a raise. At first, you feel great. You buy a new car, a bigger house, better clothes. But after a while, you adjust to your new lifestyle, and the happiness fades. Now, you need another raise, another big purchase to feel that high again. It's a treadmill. You're running, but you're not getting anywhere. This is why people who make millions still feel empty. They've chased money, thinking it would bring lasting happiness, but it never does. Instead, lasting fulfillment comes from meaningful work, work that aligns with your values, your passions, and your desire to contribute to the world. 3. How chasing money distorts your relationship with work. When you chase money, you start to make decisions that aren't in your best interest. You stay in jobs you hate because they pay well. You abandon creative projects because they don't bring in immediate income. You burn out because you're constantly hustling for more. Let me give you an example. Imagine you love painting. It brings you joy and it helps you express yourself. But it doesn't make money right away. So you stop painting and take a high-paying job you hate. At first, it feels like the right decision. You're making money. But over time, you start to feel empty. You've lost the thing that gave your life meaning. That's the cost of chasing money. It can take you away from the work that truly matters. 4. The fear of financial insecurity. One of the biggest reasons people chase money is fear. Fear of not having enough. Fear of being judged for not making enough. Fear of being seen as a failure. This fear is real, especially in today's world where financial stability is harder to achieve. But here's the thing. No amount of money will ever completely erase that fear. You could be a billionaire and still worry about losing it all. What actually reduces that fear? Building skills, building relationships, creating value in ways that money can't take away. When you focus on those things, you gain a sense of security that no bank account balance can provide. 5. Breaking free from the trap. So how do you break free from the trap of chasing money? Shift your focus from wealth to value. Ask yourself, what do I want to create? Instead of, how much can I earn? Prioritize meaningful work, even if it doesn't bring immediate financial rewards. Meaningful work will give your life direction and purpose. Understand that enough is enough. Figure out how much money you actually need to live a comfortable life, and stop chasing more once you reach that point. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you've won the lottery and never have to work for money again. What would you do with your time? That answer will tell you what kind of work truly matters to you. Key takeaway: chasing money won't make you free. What makes you free is doing work that matters to you, work that brings value to your life and to the lives of others. Money is just a tool. Don't let it become your master. Topic 5. The future of work in a world obsessed with money. We're living through a major shift in how work and money are connected. Technology, automation, and AI are changing everything. These changes force us to ask, what will work look like in the future? And how will we find meaning in work when machines can do most of the tasks we used to do? But here's the key question. If work is no longer about making money, what will it be about? Let's explore this from 3 angles: technology, culture, and philosophy. 1. The rise of automation and AI. Machines are already replacing human jobs. Self-checkouts are replacing cashiers. AI is automating customer service, content creation, and even creative work like writing and art. Factories use robots instead of human labor. This raises a terrifying question for many people. What happens to work when machines can do most jobs faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than humans? If we keep equating work with money, we'll face a crisis. Millions of people could lose their income because their work is no longer needed. But if we redefine work as creating value, there's a huge opportunity here. Machines might be able to do tasks, but they can't create meaning. They can't solve the human need for purpose, connection, and creativity. That's where the future of work lies, in areas that machines can't touch. Number 2, the gig economy and hustle culture. Another big trend is the gig economy, short-term, flexible jobs that pay by the task instead of by the hour. Think of platforms like Uber, Fiverr, or YouTube. People are making money, but it's inconsistent, unstable, and often exhausting. At the same time, we're seeing the rise of hustle culture, the belief that you have to work nonstop to succeed. People are burning out, sacrificing their well-being, chasing money as if it's the only measure of success. But here's the irony. The harder people hustle, the more they feel empty. The more tasks they complete, the less meaning they find. We've created a culture where being busy is seen as a badge of honor. But being busy isn't the same as being valuable. The future of work needs to move beyond hustle. It needs to focus on meaning, balance, and long-term impact. 3. Universal basic income and the redefinition of work. One idea that's gaining traction is universal basic income, UBI. The concept: every person gets a basic amount of money from the government to cover their essential needs, regardless of whether they work or not. The goal: to separate money from work. With UBI, people wouldn't need to work for survival. They could focus on doing work that they find meaningful, creating art, volunteering, raising families, learning new skills. This raises an important question. If you didn't need to work for money, what would you do with your time? Would you create, learn, explore, help others? These are the things that give life meaning, and they're the future of work. 4. Cultural shifts, from productivity to purpose. The cultural obsession with productivity, getting more done in less time, has led to burnout and dissatisfaction. But we're starting to see a shift. More people are asking, what's the point of all this work? Am I working to live or living to work? In the future, purpose will matter more than productivity. People will prioritize work that aligns with their values and passions. The focus will shift from how much can I earn to what impact can I make? 5. The human touch. What machines can't do. No matter how advanced AI and automation become, there are things machines will never be able to do. Show empathy, create meaningful relationships, tell human stories, find beauty and meaning in chaos. The future of work isn't about competing with machines. It's about embracing what makes us human. Creativity, empathy, purpose, and connection. These are the areas where humans will always have an edge. Think about it. An AI can write a poem, but it can't understand heartbreak. A robot can paint, but it can't feel joy. Machines can work, but they can't care. In the future, the most valuable work will be human work. Key takeaways. 1. Automation and AI will take over many tasks, but they won't replace meaningful work. 2. The gig economy and hustle culture are unsustainable. 3. Universal basic income could free people to pursue meaningful work. 4. The future of work will focus on purpose, not productivity. 5. The most valuable work will be the work that only humans can do. Closing thought. So where does that leave us? The future of work isn't about making more money. It's about finding meaning, creating value, and embracing what makes us human. If you focus on creating value for yourself, for others, for society, you'll never have to worry about money, because true wealth isn't found in a bank account. It's found in the work that makes life worth living. The question for all of us is, what kind of work will you do when money is no longer the point?